Hey guys, welcome back to another Cobra Kai Nation video. Hope you're doing great, and I have some pretty cool news to announce from this video. So we obviously know Peyton List's Tory has been quite an interesting character since making her debut in season 2. And I quite like her character, but it kind of changed my opinion after that moment that we saw in season 2 where she pretty much beats the hell out of Sam and almost severely injures Sam. I do like her development as a character and understanding who she is, because we know glimpses here and there as we've seen with her chats with Miguel. However, there's still so much we need to learn about her character, which leads me to this shot in season 3 where we're not exactly sure where this venue is, but it sort of resembles an underground facility or fight club. Like, there's these pipes that have almost look like spray paint on them, and we don't know where this is, but it could be a flashback and we might understand more about how Tory had that kickboxing ability and her aggression, because this may have started from way before we even knew her. And I'm hoping we do get a flashback so we get a bit more development of her character, so we understand her a lot more. We haven't seen Tory since the end of season 2 when she's seen with the Cobra Kai students in the dojo. And this leads us to think that she's not going to be in prison or the juvenile detention center like Robbie, as she was one of the big instigators of the fight in the season 2 finale at the school. Now you're probably wondering why I'm making this video today, but basically I had this interview with Grayson Berry on my Instagram where we discussed his role in the upcoming season 3 as this sleazy landlord called Rodney. Now, Grayson Berry said that he had a scene with Peyton List and he had the luxury of working with her. Grayson posted this in the caption, and he said about our interview, but then he mentions Peyton List, aka Tory Nichols, was a dream scene partner, as was the legendary Martin Kove, aka John Kreese. Infinitely lucky to work with writers, creators, Josh, Hayden, and John. Now listen to what Grayson says in our interview.
It's a great question, man, and I agree with you. That dynamic is phenomenal. Quick funny story. So I'm on set, and I'm shooting my scene with Tory, and I'm sitting in an apartment, and I look up on the wall, and there's this wolf painting, and then I look around the room, and there's all these crumpled beer cans, and I'm like, whose apartment is this? And they're like, whose apartment do you think this is? And I was like, oh, okay, it's Johnny's. Okay. And I had one of those childhood moments, man, where I was like, I'm in Johnny's apartment right now. This is crazy.
Now this could be a little bit of a spoiler. However, I feel that there's something more to this, because why is he in Johnny's apartment? And why is he there with Kreese and Tory? They might be looking for Johnny, hence why they go to his apartment and they don't find him. Or they try and get the landlord to buy out the entire apartment and maybe repossess Johnny's apartment. It could even be that after the fight Kreese and Johnny have in season 3, that he goes to the apartment of Johnny's to see if Johnny is in there, and maybe takes Tory as backup and uses the landlord as a way of bribing Johnny. This is interesting why Kreese, Tory and the landlord are in there, or maybe the landlord owns that entire block and they want to take Johnny's apartment from him.
Rodney is, you know Rodney, you've met Rodney. He's that selfish landlord that isn't really interested in helping any of his tenants as long as they pay their rent on time. But if he can get an angle on somebody, he will. If he can, blackmail somebody, he will. And I'll just say that, Tory, aka Peyton List, is sort of at the top of that list for me, and I can tell you that she was incredible to work with, man. Her act, great, because she's a young girl, and her maturity was stunning, man, and her physicality. We have a little interaction that way as well.
So Rodney is a selfish landlord, and he doesn't care about his tenants unless they're paying their rent on time. But if he can get an angle on someone or blackmail them, he will. And Tory is on the top of his list, and this is most likely his list of tenants that need to pay their rent. Grayson also says that they have a physical scene together, which we can assume is that Tory is not paying the rent and Rodney wants it right there and then it gets physical. Now this is interesting because we might see where Tory lives, and it sounds like an apartment, and what she gets up to when she's not at the dojo learning karate. And if Kreese is with her, then you can guess that there's going to be some action with those three. This sounds awfully familiar, as we know Armand is always bragging to Johnny about rent money and that he has more students and he has to pay more rent. But I don't know if Rodney's going to be worse, but we will definitely find out if he is. But by the sounds of it, if he can blackmail or even get an angle on someone, it sounds like he's up to something, maybe more than Armand. It might be interesting because these guys might even know each other. Armand and Rodney are both landlords and they are both greedy for money by the sounds of it. And yes, they are both definitely sleazy, and we know Armand is when he always wants rent money from Johnny. So what do you guys think? Does Rodney know Armand, and why is he on Tory's case? Tory doesn't sound like she's been paying that rent money, which does sound like she's living in an apartment by herself. But we're going to find out exactly why in this new season. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something new. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and join the Cobra Kai dojo. And remember, strike first, strike hard, and no mercy.